Thank you all for being here and being a part of Intern 101. Some of you have attended before, but I swear we keep getting, like, there's more resources all the time. So I appreciate you jumping in and continuing to be a part of the internship ecosystem in the South Bend region. I'm Kate Lee. I'm the Executive Director of Education and Workforce for the South Bend Regional Chamber. And we're into our 9th year of working to build a stronger set of opportunities for interns in our community, not just to capture kind of the students who come here to go to school, but also to try to boomerang some students back when kids go away to school to have them come back. So we have great resources that enable us to kind of do all of those things, and we appreciate you being a part of this. We've had over 1,000 interns participate in the Intern Summer Connect program since we started that in 2015. So super excited about that, positive feedback, and we hope to continue growing that and get even more participation. So I'm going to jump right in and use the chat, unmute yourself, do whatever you want to do. This is just us having a conversation about the joy of interns. So if I can get the screen there we go. I am going to do real quick. There's a lot of people here. I'm trying to think how I might do this best. I'm going to go down the list. Actually, just drop in the chat. This might be the easier way to do it, because that might take half the thing, because yay, lots of people here. But if you can drop in the chat, like your name, and you don't necessarily have to do position, but name and who you're with. And if there is something specific that you want to learn about interns, and then we don't cover it, we'll get back to that, and we will. Or just also, as I said, just feel free to ask questions anytime as we're going through this. But we do want to make sure that we equip you with everything you need to be successful in the internship process. So we're going to cover all these things. Why are internships important for you? Who can be an intern? When do internships take place? What can an intern do where? And how can you ensure a successful internship? So employer ROI is obviously a huge thing. Right now, when we're in this labor situation where a lot of people don't have the talent that they need, there's conversations about students not coming out of school, high school, or college with the skills to hit the ground running and do the work. And we know that work-based learning is incredibly helpful in so many ways to reinforce what you learn in the classroom, and also to learn the things that you could never possibly learn in a classroom. So work-based learning is key, but the employer ROI is also huge. So there's an average cost, and all these numbers are based on who replies to a survey. So I always like to put that in context. No data points are actually always 100% perfect. But the average cost to recruit a new entry-level person right now, they say is about $4,700, but it can be up to 3 to 4 times the position, depending on the level of the position. Average cost to hire through on-campus recruiting, $6,275. But the average cost for a summer intern is $5,000. And that's for 8 weeks full-time at $15 an hour. So look at what interns can help you do. You can get things done, create brand ambassadors. If they have a quality work experience with your organization, they become a person in this community and wherever they go next, talking about what a great organization you are to work for, the good work that you do. And then you have somebody else out there spreading your word. Increases diversity. You can age diversity, socioeconomic diversity, race diversity. There's all the different kinds to get these people into your organization, so you can really have a staff that's more representative of what the community looks like and those that you serve. You gain fresh perspectives. We all know the generational studies about how everybody looks at the world a little bit differently. And of course, I think we all look at it more the same than we would think. But you can gain fresh perspectives and learn from each other. The student intern learns from all of the team that you have, but you also can learn a lot from them about their perspective and how they see what your organization does and where it fits into the community. Identify and build talent and develop managers. So you're identifying and building talent. So you're bringing in this intern who could be a potential employee when they graduate. And then you're developing managers, picking somebody on your team to manage that intern who you see leadership potential in can make this a double win, because you can see, does this person who you think has leadership potential, are they good at managing this person? You can coach them to be a stronger manager. And then also you can really see if they do have that skill set, and they can find out if they want to manage people, because not everybody does want to manage people. So I think this is a great opportunity for helping an incumbent staff member learn more about what their skill set is, but also finding an intern and really integrating them into your team. So community ROI, because we are the South Bend Regional Chamber, we obviously want to increase the population. We want to make sure that our employers have the team members that they need to get their work done, to grow their business and to keep it solid. So the community ROI is obviously good for our economy. Innovation, new people coming into our community, staying in our community always sparks something, even in people who have been here forever. So I think the innovation we can get from recruiting young people, and even there are adult career changers who are interested in internships, so that just those different perspectives coming together just sparks innovation. Equity, we touched on that. I think giving students opportunities that they may not have. Not every student has, if they're, number one, if they're not from here, they may not have the connections, but also not everybody has access to the next door neighbor who does the job that they hope to do someday. So how do we make sure that we're connecting students with opportunities they might not otherwise have because they just don't happen to know anybody who does that work? So making sure we make those opportunities available. Population growth, I touched on a little bit. We do want people to stay here and grow our community. Positive change in our community. I know in the years I've been doing this, the number of people that I see on the street who are now like professionals in our community, who I first met as interns, is always inspiring to me. Like it's like, I feel like I have all my young little ducklings that I get to see like on the regular when I'm walking down the street or I'm at a coffee shop, and the energy is completely different and we can all benefit from that. I have a neighbor who calls me a vampire. She's like, you're a vampire because you love young people and like sucking off their energy. And I'm like, I have energy too. Like I don't take all their energy, but there is something really special about that. And I think we're a community that appreciates that. So having interns is just one more way to develop that talent. So who can be an intern? Students, of course, obviously, we think about all of the colleges and universities we have here locally, but there are professionals. We, in the past, have done educator externships, which is something we do want to bring back when we figure out how we're going to fund the stipends. But we had educators who went out and spent 3 to 4 days with a business, and it changed their perspective on how they work with their students and how they talk to students about careers. So being open to that is also, if you were interested in an educator, we could certainly pair you up. So there are professionals at all levels who want to learn more about a different role or a different industry, and also career changers. COVID did inspire a lot of people to rethink where they were in their career and what they might want to do. And some people have made pivots into back to school. And so you may have people seeking internships who are of a different age than typical, but be open to that and think about the opportunities that are available. I think we live in a time where nobody's sitting down someplace and retire when they're 50 years later. A few still might, but it's not the same as it used to be. So letting people know that as they develop their skills and their interests, that they have the opportunity to change into a different industry or potentially a different career. I always laugh. I have 2 high school friends. One was a nurse and then became a teacher, and then one was a teacher and became a nurse. I'm like, it's like they flip-flop their careers. They balance the universe. So be open to those career changers. And when can you do internships? Obviously, summer is kind of like when we run the Intern Summer Connect program. So there's a little bit more activity around internships, but they happen during every semester. Fall, winter breaks, they can be short, they can be a whole semester. We do know there are interns who have started in the summer and then continue through the fall, and they just reduce their hours while they have a heavier class load. So you can pretty much make an internship happen whenever you want that to happen. And what can interns do? So short-term projects, obviously. Long-term projects, if you do have the opportunity for them to kind of stick around longer and just work at a reduced schedule. And then back burner projects. I talk a lot about, everybody has like their long to-do list and all the aspirations they have for like that new thing they're going to do and what's that going to look like. So look at that list and think about, if you hire the right intern with the right skill set, how could they help you actually, if not complete the project, at least get the foundational pieces in place that can be the big lift, do the research, write up the plan, think about what the action items would have to be to achieve whatever you have on that to-do list, and kind of break down what you have on your to-do list and see if there is a project in there that an intern could do. If they can't do the full project, what piece could an intern do, which provide a great learning experience for them, and then also check something off your list or at least get something started. So there's lots of different, I don't know, anybody want to share an example of what they have had interns do in the past and seen success with? If you do want to, just feel free to like unmute and share. No projects. So for us, I'll just tell you, so at the chamber, we actually have our intern run the Summer Connect program. So send all the emails to the interns, remind people of what's going on, remind people again what's going on, because lots of times people don't sign up the first time you send the calendar invite or the links to sign up. And they also kind of coordinate the places that we're going to do things and come up with great new ideas. So our summer interns, basically our communications manager for the Intern Summer Connect program, which is kind of a weird internship within an internship. So an interesting way to do it. But definitely if you have ideas on really good success, what skill sets you've seen you can fully leverage in students, feel like share those with each other. So we can also make sure we're fully leveraging the skills that our college students do have. And then a little bit about where. Obviously, all business sectors, for-profit, nonprofit. In our community, we have a lot of nonprofits who do host interns. You can learn a lot through those internships. Lots of times in a nonprofit, you become like that Swiss Army knife who's doing a little bit of everything. So those interns, the interns in the smaller businesses may learn more skills just because everybody does more of every different thing. But you can also, then you have the benefit of a larger business where you could go from department to department and really explore the careers within an industry. So there's all different ways. And also, obviously, during COVID, we had the on-site and virtual option. Like, what were the options for this? And I would say the summer of 2020 was really interesting because we ran Summer Connect virtually with professional development on Zooms, and we did it with our friends in Fort Wayne. So sometimes we had 100 students on a Zoom doing professional development, but we found really good energy in that, even via Zoom, because students were just happy to still have an internship opportunity. And they were all trying to figure this out together. So it was nice for them to have kind of this, how do you do an internship virtually where you never really are in the same room with your supervisor or the students that you might also be working with. But I'm really proud of the adaptability of employers and students through that. And now we know that we still have students that are doing virtual or hybrid internships. So they can really look like whatever works for you. And then how do you do it? Obviously, project plans, giving the intern ownership of, if not a whole project, at least a piece of a project, so they can really feel like they have a line to put on their resume, I think is an important thing to think about. Like, when they leave you, what will they be able to say that they learned, that they managed, that they led, that they can take credit for when they're building their resume? Because one of the sessions we try to do over the summer, at the end of the summer, is a resume review. We would ask all of you if you're interested to come be a resume reviewer for this event and take a look at the LinkedIn profile and say, okay, how do I take what I learned this summer and put this on my resume in a way that would appeal to the next employer where I'm applying for a job? So be thinking about how this is going to be put to use. You get something from this, but also the student walks away with something they've learned and they can share with their next employer. Structure and goals, having I do like a one-pager of like what the goals are for the intern for the summer. Don't make it it doesn't have to be too complicated. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown 5-page job description, but just being clear on what your expectation is for that intern for the summer, I think is really important. Management and mentoring, I talked a little bit about. It's a great opportunity for somebody in-house to be able to flex their management muscles if they've never managed anybody before. So and you can kind of then observe that and see how that goes. Provide a great work environment, making sure that they have the tools they need to do their jobs, the basic stuff like you would with any new employee. Make sure that they have their computer. If you have parking, they know where to park, all those kind of things, and just whatever they need, and they understand how to kind of navigate. I'm been myself, like, have an intern come and then I forget to take them around and introduce them to everybody. Just like those basic things, I have to have a checklist so I can remember to do all the things that I was supposed to do, even if it's only 5. So lots of things to remember, but it all unfolds. And how to connect with those interns. So obviously we all have personal networks. I talked a little bit about like that kind of access to the professional and social capital. If you don't have a neighbor who's doing what you want to do when you grow up, or you don't have that kind of network. So we need to expand our networks, but we also have personal network. I have had interns that I have known since they were in middle school who have then come and intern for me when they were in college. But then I've also had interns that I had never met before, and they've gone on to be like, they're still like my friends. So these are great opportunities to expand your circle as well. Obviously, career and internship fairs, we are blessed with an abundance of post-secondaries in our community, and all of them have career and internship fairs. Career services, you can go directly to our colleges and universities and talk to them about a specific type of intern you're looking for. They may connect you with one of the instructors or professors in a specific department, or they may know the right student because that student happened to show up at their door. I'm always kind of amazed when I'll get a reach out from somebody who's looking for an internship in the area, like a young college student, and then suddenly something will land in my inbox of some employer who's looking for almost that exact same kind of intern. And you're like, ooh, how did that all happen? But sometimes it does. So, so career services, educator connections. I know there are opportunities specifically if you hire the same kind of intern regularly, to build a relationship with an educator who is teaching classes and producing the kind of talent that you're looking for. So keep in mind that you can build that kind of relationship, and you may want to diversify and go to different colleges, but you may find that this is a great way to find talent and to nurture talent. And if you want to do it that way and that simplifies your life, I mean, I think you just have to figure out what works best for you and into your kind of schedule and your flow. And so also we have a great resource in the state of Indiana, which is Work and Learn Indiana, formerly IndianaIntern.net. And I'm not sure if Caitlin's out there. I haven't looked at my list because I've been talking. Caitlin, if you're there, will you unmute and tell me? I'm looking. I don't see her. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened, but there we go. I can cover this part. So Work and Learn Indiana, as mentioned, it used to be IndianaIntern.net. This has been around for quite some time. When I first started at the Chamber in 2014, one of our goals was to encourage more employers to use Work and Learn Indiana as a platform for matching with interns. Number one, it's a great place to kind of, instead of going to all the different college and universities, you can do this in one platform and students can find their way to you. It also helps you can not only then can connect with students who are here locally doing studying, but also students who have gone away to college. I always think, like, I have a son who's at Dayton. So if you're in Dayton going to college, your career services office knows opportunities probably locally, but not a lot back home. And you might want to go home for the summer. And this is kind of our chance as a community to show students who have gone away to college that when they graduate, there's something for them home, if they were interested in coming back to home. I know not everybody's going to want to come home. People are going to want to go to the big cities. They're going to go do whatever they do. But to show them that when they do decide they might want to come back to the South Bend region, there are opportunities for them, I think is a really great, it's a good thing for us to take advantage of. So when students from the area do reach out, as they sometimes do, and say, hey, how do I find an internship? I push them to Work and Learn Indiana. So there is going to be a session that they're going to do on January 31st, and we'll drop that link in the chat, and I'll also send out these slides. Oh, I think Reagan just dropped that in the chat. It popped up right in front of me. So on January 31st, and Sally Sechev will walk you through how to set up your account and how to access the different resources that are on Work and Learn Indiana. So a little bit about that. Since when we first started this, the South Bend region went from 53 to 146 matches via IndianaIntern.net in the first 5 years. And we went from 25 to 60 using the EARN benefit, which I'll share a little bit more about. So just by the numbers real quick, on the Work and Learn platform right now, 88.9% of the internships are paid. The average wage is $13 an hour. And there are nearly 1,800 students that are currently, post-secondary students that are currently searching for internships. So there are a lot of people out there looking, and It always grows a lot during the months of January and February. And here's the beauty of the one posting many schools. So every school that's highlighted here, they're all the Indiana colleges and universities. We've had a student from all those participate in the Intern Summer Connect that connected via indianaintern.net. So, or Work and Learn Indiana. So it's really, it has a really nice reach. So just something to consider. And onto the EARN benefit. And some of you have used this. EARN Indiana was developed by the Commission for Higher Ed, and it's in partnership with the Indiana Chamber that hosts Work and Learn Indiana. That's kind of how you access EARN. The EARN benefit gives students who are on any kind of Indiana financial aid, you can get the wages you pay them, 50% can be reimbursed to you. So this is a great opportunity to save money on having an intern. There are people who you budget for an intern, but if you hire 2 EARN students, you can get 2 for the price of 1. So that's a wonderful thing. And then another student gets an opportunity. So that 50% wage match is a huge benefit, but it also is an equity issue because we make sure that we're reaching out to students who are on some type of Indiana financial aid and making sure they have the opportunities to fully leverage the education they're gaining with a work-based learning experience. So I would encourage you to explore the EARN program. It's Mary, who's our controller here, has navigated it for us, and she's like, it's the easiest reimbursement process she's ever gone through. So when you go out and you post, and Sally will go over this more in that January 31st session, but when you go out and post, you can say, I want this to be considered an EARN opportunity. And there are specific things that, they have to be eligible. The student has to be an Indiana resident, not have a bachelor's degree prior to the term, but they can work the semester immediately following graduation, enrolled full or part-time. So there is college student criteria, and there is criteria for the jobs that you post. Obviously, they have to be a quality work experience. I have never had anybody post a internship that couldn't, even if they had to do one addition or adjustment, couldn't make it fit with the EARN guidelines. It just can't be, it can't be like answering phones and getting coffee. It needs to be, the students are going to learn something. And that's what people, nobody wants their interns to just do that. You want them to learn something. So if you have a student that you've already connected with, like personally, you can back in to Work and Learn Indiana as well. You could go ahead, that student could go out and sign up, make sure that they're EARN qualified, which as soon as a student puts their account out there, because of their social security number, it tags them, and they're an EARN student. You can even go out and search students who are in the area who are EARN qualified. So you could even back end and go looking for a student who's looking for an opportunity and see who might be out there that would match what you're looking for. So it's a really nice system to be able to use. There are 130,000 EARN Indiana eligible students statewide. So think about that. Across 92 counties, we have 130,000 students that are out there that are on the platform right now. Not on the platform right now, but eligible for EARN. So you might meet them. And I will tell you what, too, students don't even know about EARN, even if they're eligible for it. So sometimes you have to say to the student, hey, are you on, and I've just asked the question, I'll be like, are you on any kind of Indiana financial aid? And you may be able to pay them a little bit more, because you also find out they're on financial aid. Maybe you can pay them $2 more an hour because 50% is going to come back to you. So then you end up not paying as much, but a student makes more money over the summer, which, as we all know, post-secondary is not cheap. So giving a student that opportunity is also a great thing. And something I'm going to touch on real quick here, but then there will be more information on the 31st. EARN got expanded into a pilot program at the high school level. So if you are an employer who's interested in high school student interns, Sally will deeper dive on this, but high school students also can put themselves out on the EARN platform or on the Work and Learn platform and access EARN. These are the high schools that are involved in the pilot right now in our region. So if you hire a student from any of these high schools through this process, you can have up to 50% of their hourly wage reimbursed as well. So there's a change in graduation requirements in the state of Indiana that is working to increase work-based learning opportunities for high school students. We recognize they're a different type of student to manage, but they also, it's great to get them out in the community and help them. These are the students that we help figure out what they want to do after they graduate from high school. So they may think they want to go to college. They may think they want to go directly to the workforce. Their summer work experience can help them make really big decisions about what they're going to do after high school. So those opportunities are great as well. If you have the capacity to have a high school student, I would recommend exploring that as well. So more resources. And this is where, like, I always go, I hope you all aren't going, oh my God, there's just too much. I can't even navigate it. I give up. But in our community, we've been blessed with a grant from the Lilly Endowment, which has allowed for these LIFT internships for advanced industries. So this is operated locally, and the link is out there. And I see Hunter. Hey, Hunter. Hunter, do you want to talk about LIFT?
Sure, I can dive in really quickly. Thank
Hunter
you, Kate.
Guthrie.
Hello, yeah, Hunter Guthrie. I'm with InFocus, but also this Lyft Network internship program. I won't take too much of Kate's time, but to Kate's point, it's another resource in the region to tap into additional funding and additional support for building internships. Kate's succinctly added a few things here that we can provide. But if you're interested in hosting positions, more technical positions like those in data science, engineering, IT, product design, software development, supply chain, technology, those sorts of roles. And right now, if you're a for-profit business, that's kind of the main eligibility requirement there. You can apply through our program. I'll put a link in the chat after this. We'll provide you with a tailored prospect list that gives you access to a bunch of candidates who have applied for roles like that. We can provide up to 2 intern wage reimbursements at the end of the summer for up to $2,500 per intern, roughly 50% of an internship, but up to $2,500. We have helped folks hire international students. We have rolling applications that we're accepting all the way through the summer, as you may be hiring interns. So if you're interested in something like that, we can definitely support you. The only caveat is that if you choose to hire through INTERN Indiana, those INTERN can't be combined with additional funding programs, but that opens up the door for you, as Kate said, to pay interns more or to potentially hire additional interns because you're saving some money. So there's ways to combine both programs without using funding on the same intern. I'll shoot a link in the chat after this, and happy to meet with any of you to talk about what might be available. Kate says expansion ahead. I don't want to dive too deep into that, but there is a chance here in the summer or the fall that we'll have some additional funding for employers of different occupation types as well, beyond these advanced industry types. So keep me in mind as we go through the next few months here, and I should be reaching out if that happens. So anyway, thanks, Kate, for allowing me to spend a few minutes here talking about our program, and looking forward to working with some employers on the call if they're looking to hire in these spaces.
Thanks, Hunter. So lots of resources is the story. So another one that has developed over the years, early on when we first started running the intern Southern Region program, there was like, what do you do with housing? And we had employers who would do like a multi-week arrangement with a hotel. There were some sublets, obviously, because we're a college town. Vacation home rental now with Airbnbs and all that. But now we're lucky to have 2 post-secondary partners who are providing housing options very reasonably for students. So St. Mary's College and IU South Bend both are offering summer housing. We will put the details for that on our Intern South Bend region landing page. I just got the one-pagers for those yesterday, and they're not up yet, but we can share that information as well. I may be able to link that into the PowerPoint before I send it out to all of you. So, but really reasonably priced and specific dates that the students can come and be there, but they cover really the broad range of how students, what internships look like. The great part to me is this is just another way for students to community build. If we get like a nice group, even like 5 to 10 students who are living together in housing, who come from different colleges, universities, maybe from a different place. I just think it's a great opportunity for them to actually spend more time together during the summer and get to know each other. And as we all know, like if you feel like you have people somewhere, it might make you more likely to stay here, to take a job here, and to stay engaged with the community and the employer that you're working with. So we're excited that's an option now. So just a quick overview of last summer. So Summer Connect 2022 is our 8-week program of professional development and networking events. 2022, we had 109 registered interns, 120 total participants. Some people came to events but never actually filled out the form, so we don't know everything about them. No matter how many times my intern nagged them, they would not complete the form, so there's information we don't know. They're all in the witness protection program. I don't know, but would not share the information. So 32 employers represented, 34 colleges and universities, and 4 high schools. So we've seen great growth in this. We saw a little downturn during COVID. Obviously, we had less students, but it's climbing back up again. And you can see on the chart the different intern majors. We have a little bit of everything. So, and that variety is really nice. And there is nothing better than seeing interns make connections who, even some of them go to the same college, but of course never met each other because they go to like IU and they don't know each other and they're in different majors, but they meet each other over the summer. So it's really just nice to see that kind of opportunity for young people to start developing a foundational professional network through this summer opportunity. And also some responses. It's interesting, last summer, the percentages were a little bit lower than in the past. We had good participation, but now my goal is to get these numbers by percentages back up again. But as you can see, the students did strongly agree that the experience of the Summer Connect program really enhanced their experience over the summer and positively influenced their perception of the South Bend region. So that's really why the Chamber does what we do. We get students out there. We have kids who have grown up here who have never been to a South Bend Cubs game or rafted the East Race. So even local students get introduced to things they wouldn't have known about. And students from out of town often appreciate it more than the students who are from here. So it's just really nice and having them see the community through each other's eyes and is also a really great thing to witness. So we will continue with this program. The registration link is up to register interns for the Summer Connect. So as you hire interns, just make sure they get signed up. We'll do an intern manager welcome. That'll either be the very end of May or the first week of June. Professional development series, we do weekly programs beginning in June. So the June and July are big time for weekly programs, working with partners like the Center for Civic Innovation typically does a community engagement panel where they have a panel of people who have done lots of really great work in our community and they share how they did this. Oh, and I see this link about, I grew up here but never heard of El Campito till you interned there. There you go. And now it's your career. So these are these things like students just don't know. Lots of adults don't know. When I think about what I didn't know when I joined the Chamber and I lived here more than 20 years, and like now these manufacturers I visited and the businesses, because you only know what you know. So getting the interns connected to each other and the businesses is also really great. So professional development series, community engagement programs, South Bend Cubs and East Race Rafting are always our go-tos. We're hoping this year our East Race Rafting will be with YALI again. So that's the Young African Leadership Initiative that Notre Dame hosts every summer. We had rafted with them in the past. Last summer, we couldn't make the schedule work, but this summer, hopefully we'll be back together because that's also another great opportunity for the interns to just meet a whole other variety of people and the Young Professionals Network, trying to get them to come out and also interact with the interns. Community connection points. So in the past, we had done weekly challenges and we were like, oh, prizes, college students don't want to do this. We'll do, and we track like who participated in which weekly challenges because they posted on social media. We found out that college students really didn't want to post on social media and tag us. So we went to community connection points and it actually worked better. Our intern sent out 3 to 5 events per week. And then 32% of respondents said they participated in one of those community connection points throughout the summer. So we just make sure that it's top of mind to the interns, what's going on this week. It could be, short case on the blacktop. is typically one of the early ones. So lots of students go, interns go do that. Fridays by the fountain, a reminder of that, concerts in the park, just anything that is happening and ideas of what to do so they know what's going on and feel connected. So we'll continue with that this summer. Something we're gonna add, there's a Fridays by the fountain in front of the Morris Civic on the plaza every Friday. We're gonna get like a intern flag and just do a very casual, like, if the interns want to get together on Friday by the fountain, we'll have the flag so they can find their way to each other. That was my intern from last summer's suggestion. He said, maybe something a little more casual. You can come, you can go, you can do whatever. And I thought that was a great idea. So we'll see if anybody shows up on Fridays, or if like, maybe I'll just stand there by myself with a flag, me or Reagan, who I do need to introduce. Reagan is out here, Reagan Ward, who is, and I think she introduced herself in the chat, is our coordinator of there she is, education and workforce initiatives. So you'll be seeing her this summer as well, working on these. A recent Notre Dame grad who, look, we've kept her here, at least for a while. We're trying to keep her as long as we possibly can. So we'll be working on that. If you have any thoughts on what you would like, what kind of complementary programming you'd like for interns, if you've had interns that you've thought, God, if they could just learn a little bit more about this skill, or how to, you know, we did one last summer on adverse childhood experiences. So we're trying to incorporate social emotional health pieces. One session on that, I talked about resume review, community engagement. So there's lots of different, we kind of throw in different things every year based on what partners in the community are interested in sharing with our interns. So, but we welcome ideas from any of you because you work with the interns. And so here's just a couple of quotes from former interns who were part of the program. We're always happy to get like those nice things that say, you know, unexpectedly fell in love with South Bend. I'm like, oh, thank you for the testimonial. Like, it happens. And there are, I think all of you, if you ever had an intern or you worked with young people, know that there are lots of benefits to a community like South Bend that, as I always say to the students, is large enough to have really great cultural opportunities, great arts, great music. We have theater. We have so many opportunities. There's no way you could not find something to do on a weekend in the South Bend region. But it's also small enough that you can walk into a coffee shop and know people, that you can get a meeting with the mayor or the CEO of a small business, and you can't get that just anywhere. So we try to make the students really aware that this is a kind of a really sweet spot sized community where you can really dig in and make a difference. It's kind of a key message. So this is just the final information. The deep dive we're going to intern 102 will be on January 31st. And I will send these PowerPoint slides out to all of you as well. But right now I'm going to stop sharing because it drives me crazy that I can't see everybody. And say, let me know if you have any questions. Jump in there, conversation, ideas, whatever you have to share, we will take it. And because I can't read the chat and talk at the same time, I'm thumbing back through the chat. Reagan, is there anything in the chat that we need to talk about a little bit more?
I don't think so. At least I don't see anything.
I did see that James put in there the advertisement for Notre Dame students, so good on you. So yeah, I love seeing the variety of employers who are on this call. Please do, like, if you don't want to ask questions here on the call, feel free to reach out. As I said, we will send the slides. We appreciate you being a part of the day or the morning.
I do have a question.
Oh, yay.
Sorry.
Oh.
Well, my name is Apapata. I'm with Everence Financial in Goshen. Just introduce myself. I just wrote some notes here. How do you attract the career changers? I mean, when we want to reach the college students, we go through the job board, and now some of the resources you've listed, I'll add that to my list too. But how do you attract the job changers? The middle-aged people? I mean, how do you do that? Because
So
we have some positions for them.
I talk a lot about adult ed programs. So South Bend adult ed, depending on what skill set you're looking for. And that would be something we could also just have a chat about where the sources might be for that. I talk a lot about like talent funnels. They're between adult ed and I think about Goodwill, Excel Center, people who have gone back to school. Ivy Tech has a lot of adult students. IUSB has a lot of adult students. And finding out what type of skills you're looking for and the right people to connect with to know when a student comes through their door who's looking for their next thing, that you'd have that opportunity for them. They may not even, if they don't know it's there, they can't connect with it. So it's kind of, we're feeding both ends at the same time. So I'd love to have that conversation and figure out how you do connect with those adult students who are looking for their next thing. You know, a lot of students are working while they're going to school. So it's hard to figure out how you would do an internship at the same time, but then some do have the space to do that. But I think being creative, you can definitely connect with people who are looking to change their career. Anybody else out there?
I'm Katie. I'm with the Unity Gardens.
Hey,
I have a
Katie.
question about the INTERN program. Hello. It said you have to be an Indiana resident. Is attending a college in Indiana and having an Indiana address make you an Indiana resident, or is there extra steps to take?
You'd have to be an Indiana resident because you'd have to be receiving Indiana financial aid. So, yeah,
Thank you for
it's a limitation. That's where the LIFT program is awesome. So if it's the right kind of internship, the LIFT dollars don't have that restriction. So it's really nice to have those complementary programs, as Hunter mentioned. Anybody else? If not, I will say go, enjoy your day. Hopefully the sun will come out at some point. It's been a little gray this week, but eventually it'll be there. It always comes back. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and we'll get these slides to you.